All right, so I said right here as well, I'm going to keep really a lot of warmth. So I'm going to go right down here like so. The paper is dry. There's no water on it. Okay, I'm going to rinse, pat on a towel, then come back, go into my rose, and then go right down the side of that. There we go. And over here on the edge, I want to go into it too, where this red is going to be down here. Now, the trick to this is, like I said, get a good, big, thirsty brush like this that holds a lot of paint. And you want to move pretty quickly. I'm going to go back into my gold. Come right down here. And I'm going right around this, because this part of the reflection below this black car is also going to be warm. Okay, now back into my rose. Okay. Then into my Antwerp blue. Now the Antwerp blue, you really kind of have to pull to get it out. I don't, blues are just a little harder to soften and get flowing, so you just have to be a little more forceful with them. And I'm going to go down the edge here. And down through here, where that black car is going to be. Okay. And this is just pass one. I'm not looking to get black like what's in this photograph. I'm just looking to lay in my tones right now. And when I get to the edge of the page, I like it to be violet or blue. So where I put this rose, I'm going to go in and make that a little more violet. You could even mix the both on your palette, the rose and the Antwerp, and get a nice violet over there. Okay. And there, just to knock that green back. Okay. Now I'm looking at this picture, and there are some reflections that are kind of coming down in here. We're going to lift those later, because right now they're under masking anyway, so we don't have to worry about that. And here's where my little squares come in handy that we talked about earlier. So, don't want them in there. We're going to clean off our masking, because when I do my second pass of these same colors, I don't want it dragging these in, because if it drags the green into the rose, it's going to go neutral. If it drags the violet into the yellow too much, it's going to go brown. So you have to kind of think ahead, and you don't want all this excess pigment sitting on your masking fluid. So just very carefully go in and just clean up some of that. You don't have to get every little bit, just the big droplets like here. There we go. Here. You can kind of tell where it's going to just kind of mix right in if you go down it again. Okay. A little bit down through here. Okay. And this pinot goes all the way over to the edge, so we can get rid of all that. Okay. Like so. Get it off the advertising little bubble on top of the taxi as well. Okay. So I'm going to go into my gold. Pull out. See, it's almost like a brown gold. I mean, it's deep. I want it even deeper than the first pass. Darker. Okay. See how light that has become right there? So we're going to darken that down. Then right down the middle here. Let's set off into McQuinn Rose. Pull it out. Okay. I'm just placing these colors next to the other colors. I overlap a tiny bit maybe, but don't paint over the gold with the rose or the blue, because then you're just killing what you've already done with the gold. A little blue there. A little Antwerp blue over here. Okay, see how much deeper this is than the first pass that we did? Much deeper, more dramatic. Grab some of my squares and start cleaning up a bit. Okay. Okay. All right. Then here's this big piece down here. So let's clean all that up. Now, the reason I'm doing this again is I may decide to do a third pass, which I don't think I will. I'll see how this dries. But also, when you take the masking off, if you have a lot of pigment left on the masking, it can actually smear onto the white part of your paper where you don't want it, because obviously we masked that so we wouldn't get paint on it. So you don't want to get paint on it by accident. So it's better to get a lot of this excess paint off as much as you can, reasonably. Don't go crazy with it. Just the big areas where you kind of know where you're going. Okay. Just the big areas. Okay, so I'm going into my lamp black, which is over here, like I said, in between the gold and the Antwerp on the side. Okay, I'm going to start up here in the background. There's some little shapes back in here that are going to be black. And again, these are just little weird shapes and things. Don't get too tied up with, how it looks. Just make them in the general shapes of what you see here. And you can use these masked areas kind of to give you a roadmap of where you're going. It's helpful. Okay. And here's this flag coming off this flagpole, coming off the building. Okay, I'm just going to keep following down, looking around, finding different ones. Okay, that looks good. Okay, this car on the far left, it's way over here. You can just see the two tail lights. We're just going to go under that car. Just kind of give it some. So it looks like it's sitting on the pavement. And I like so. And I leave my masking on when I do this part for obvious reasons. I don't want to have to nitpick paint around everything and because I'm worried about the black going somewhere I don't want it to be. So this way you don't really have to worry about that quite as much. Well, here's the tire for this car that's right here in the front of our black car. So paint that in. use this tail light as your guide, okay? Okay. Set this down straight. See better? Okay. And so it comes down around that tail light. And I want it to go into here somewhat, but I don't want this whole thing to be black. So I'm going to add some water, take a little water off, and just kind of soften the edges as it goes into the tail light, glowing lights on the pavement. And then I'm just going to come across. Now imagine if you didn't have the masking on. This is so easy because we have the masking still on. I'm just going to follow the shape of the car. Okay. Down around this tail light also. Bet you never thought it'd be so easy to paint a car. Just black and zing, zing, zing. Okay, same thing over here. I want it to show the shape, but I want to soften that edge. So, a little water, take off some water, soften. It leads up to this. That's just a masking right there. Okay. And I come down just a little bit more here. Then again, soften across. All right. So that's that car. Pretty easy. I told you there'd be parts of this that are easier than you think. Okay, I want to go way up top here. I'm just going to put little lines in between these windows. Okay. And there's dark line on top of this, like molding or whatever you call it, facade. Same up here. We're just giving it a little shape, a little form. I'm not going jet jet black here. I'm kind of watering it down a little bit. I don't want it to be, those lines to be super black, because one thing, they're pointing off the top of the page. So you never want that, right? And then we come down here to these weird shape windows. And, okay, so starts here. And this is in your drawing. You'll see this little, like, kind of looks like a little castle thing or something, but it's just showing you the shape of the building.
A unique opportunity for watercolor lovers. Join Laurie Goldstein in a free lesson and see how she creates light, depth, and atmosphere with effortless brushwork. Watch the free watercolor tutorial now. The link is waiting in the description.
So I think as I join up with this gray, I don't really want a red right there. I think I want the orange. So this is the soft part that I softened with that damp brush. And I'm just going to go right up here. Okay. You know what? I'm going to add a little gold to my cad yellow. Okay. Here we go, around down into here. Now I'm going to start adding some red in. Just at the edge, not a whole lot. Just to kind of, you know, give a varied look to the color so it doesn't look all like I've been painting with the same color for a half hour. You never want that to look like that. And again, I'm going to start putting in some little lines and things. So it's not all straight. And let's see. Okay, we're getting close to the taxi, so I'm going to start going into my gold and cadmium yellow together. Cadmium yellow under here, all on here. Okay. And sometimes I turn my brush like this just to fill in a big area quickly, because a lot of these little dots in here are going to be darker, not lighter, so I don't have to worry so much about saving them. So use the wide side of your brush to apply paint quicker. Then we can go in with our reds. Just kind of pop a little red in here. There we go. Then I'm going to actually tilt my board a little bit. Oh, not my board, my painting, side to side. And I'm just trying to get that red moving a little bit. Make sure they've had plenty of time to dry. And see how now that glows and it's got more of a soft effect. And I'm not scrubbing real hard. I mean, this is Fabriano paper. It lifts like a dream. So here we go. A little more up there. Here we go. Maybe up here. Just pick a few. Don't do too many. You don't want it all over the place like Starry Night. Just a few places here and there. And now this one, this is our starlight. So go all past where you painted the gold into the red, or into this darker red gold. Okay, see that? And now the lights are shining. They're glowing. Okay, I'm just looking to see if there's anything else. Okay, I'm going to do the back of this little taxi bump too, just so that's not hard edged. There we go. Soften the edges a little bit. Okay. And I was looking for little places to lift. Okay, I'm not lifting here, but I'm bringing the dark into this license plate just to dim it down a little bit. I don't want that to be any kind of star. Let's see. Okay, last thing is I'm going to do a little tiny wash right on this. I'm just kind of mixing a gray with what's in my palette. So a little blue. And then just paint this in. I just don't want a bright white square because it's above. This is our center of interest. So I don't want anything up there kind of pulling you up. Okay. And that is that. That is the finished first project. And I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed painting with you.